Hi dear. Welcome to your favorite audiobook channel, Wisdom Flicks. The Power of Gratitude. Rewire your brain for abundance. Imagine rewiring your brain to see the world through a lens of abundance, joy, and peace. The power of gratitude shows you how gratitude isn't just a feeling. It's a transformative practice that can change everything: your health, your relationships, your mindset. This audiobook takes you on a journey to unlock a happier, stronger, and more creative you. Tune in and start living the life you deserve, one thankful thought at a time. The power of gratitude. Rewire your brain for abundance. Have you ever paused for a moment? Not because you had to, but because something inside you whispered a soft acknowledgement of life's little miracles? Perhaps it was the quiet joy of hearing a loved one laugh, the feel of your heartbeat after a long walk, or the silent beauty of a sunrise. These are the moments that gratitude lives in. Not loud, not boastful, just present, powerful, and quietly life-changing. Gratitude is not a trend. It's not a fleeting quote shared on social media or a simple list you write in a journal because someone told you to. Gratitude is a state of being. It is a mindset, a muscle, and a magnet. When understood and practiced consistently, it has the power to reshape not just how you think, but how you feel, act, and live. We live in a world that constantly demands more success, more money, more validation. In this pursuit, it's easy to fall into a mindset of scarcity. We begin to believe we are not enough, we don't have enough, and we'll never be enough. But what if the answer to this constant feeling of lack wasn't found in chasing more, but in appreciating what we already have? That is the essence of this book. You're not about to be handed a set of feel-good platitudes. This is a journey, one that begins within your own mind. Through real science, real stories, and practical strategies, this book will show you how gratitude can literally rewire your brain. It will change your chemistry, your emotions, your decisions, and ultimately, your life. The neuroscience of gratitude is real. The emotional freedom that comes with it is real. The shift from scarcity to abundance isn't wishful thinking. It's a proven process. But most importantly, gratitude is accessible to everyone, regardless of background, income, age, or past experiences. You don't need to wait for life to be perfect to be grateful. In fact, it's the very act of being grateful that opens the door to a more fulfilling life. As you listen to this book, you'll discover how daily gratitude can become a life-changing habit. You'll learn about how your brain responds to thankfulness, why gratitude increases happiness and reduces anxiety, and how to use this awareness to build a mindset that attracts joy, peace, and prosperity. You'll also be guided through simple, yet powerful exercises you can begin practicing today. This is not just another self-help book. It's a reminder of something you already know deep down, that there is more right with your life than wrong. And that by shifting your focus from what's missing to what's already here, you awaken a power that can transform everything. This book is for you if you've been feeling overwhelmed, stuck, anxious, or like something's missing. It's for you if you want to break free from negative thinking. And it's especially for you if you want to experience life more fully, not someday in the future, but starting now. So take a breath, slow down, and open your mind to a simple truth. The key to a richer, more meaningful, an abundant life isn't something outside of you. It's gratitude. Let's begin. Chapter 1: Understanding Gratitude. Before gratitude can change your life, you must first understand what it truly is. Gratitude is often mistaken for a polite thank you, a social nicety, or a momentary emotion that arises when something good happens. But the truth is far deeper and far more powerful. Gratitude is not simply something you feel. It's something you choose, something you practice, and something you become. Let's begin with the basics. What is gratitude? Gratitude is the conscious recognition of the good in your life. It is an acknowledgement, not just of what you receive, but of how it touches your life and brings meaning to your experience. It's not dependent on perfection or ideal circumstances. In fact, gratitude often shines brightest in the most ordinary or even difficult moments. Think of gratitude as a lens. When you look through it, the same world appears different. What once felt dull begins to feel rich. What once seemed like a burden begins to feel like a blessing. Gratitude doesn't necessarily change your external circumstances. It changes the way you perceive them. And that shift in perception is everything. At its core, gratitude is awareness. Awareness of what's present, what's working, and what's beautiful, even when life isn't going according to plan. It's the realization that right now, even with your flaws and problems, you still have countless reasons to feel full, not empty. Gratitude is not denial. It's important to clarify what gratitude is not. Gratitude doesn't mean pretending that pain doesn't exist. It doesn't mean ignoring injustice, dismissing struggle, or suppressing grief. Rather, it's the ability to hold space for both the bitter and the sweet, to feel sadness and still notice beauty, to face challenge and still find meaning. True gratitude is not blind optimism. It's grounded awareness. It allows you to see reality clearly, while choosing to focus on what uplifts and empowers you, rather than what drains and weakens you. Temporary thankfulness versus lasting gratitude. There's a big difference between temporary thankfulness and lasting gratitude. Most people experience momentary thankfulness. For example, when you get a compliment, achieve a goal, or receive a gift, it's easy to feel thankful. But that thankfulness often fades as quickly as it arrives. Lasting gratitude, on the other hand, is a mindset. It doesn't rely on your mood or the outcome of a situation. It's consistent. It's stable. It becomes part of who you are. The good news? Gratitude is a habit that can be built, like a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. Over time, your mind begins to default to appreciation rather than complaint. And that subtle shift changes everything, from the way you feel when you wake up, to how you interact with others, to how you handle setbacks. Everyday gratitude. Seeing the invisible. One of the most powerful realizations about gratitude is that it's often hidden in plain sight. The things we overlook the most are often the things that deserve our deepest appreciation. Consider this: the fact that your heart beats without being asked, that you can breathe in and out without any conscious effort, that someone somewhere made the clothes you're wearing, that clean water comes out of a tap, that the sun continues to rise. These things may seem small or routine, but they're miracles, each in their own right. That we don't need to wait for something grand or dramatic to feel grateful. Gratitude is available right now, in the quiet moments, in common details of daily life. The secret is learning to notice, to slow down enough to see, to train your awareness to scan for what's right instead of what's wrong. Why gratitude is a gateway. Gratitude opens the door to more. Not necessarily more stuff, but more of what matters. More peace, more joy, more connection, more presence. When you are grateful, you operate from a place of abundance rather than lack. And when you feel abundant, you attract more of what supports your well-being. Gratitude is also a gateway to emotional resilience. People who practice gratitude regularly are better equipped to handle stress, bounce back from adversity, and maintain perspective during tough times. Why? Because gratitude keeps you rooted. It reminds you of what's good and true, even when life feels uncertain or chaotic. It doesn't make you immune to hardship, but it gives you strength through it. The science of feeling grateful. You may be surprised to know that gratitude is not just a feel-good idea. It's backed by science. Studies in positive psychology and neuroscience have shown that consistent gratitude practice can improve your mood, reduce stress and anxiety, enhance sleep quality, increase empathy and social connection, boost overall life satisfaction, even strengthen your immune system. Why does this happen? Because gratitude activates the brain's reward system. It releases dopamine and serotonin, two key neurotransmitters responsible for feelings of pleasure, contentment, and emotional well-being. In simple terms, gratitude makes your brain feel good. And when your brain feels good, you think better, live better, and relate better. Gratitude is a choice every day. We are presented with countless opportunities to either complain or appreciate. And each of those moments is a fork in the road. You can choose to focus on what's missing, or you can focus on what's already here. You can choose to dwell on what went wrong, or celebrate what went right. You can choose to see life as something you have to endure, or something you get to experience. Gratitude begins as a decision. And like all powerful decisions, it comes with the potential to reshape your entire life. Moving forward in the chapters ahead, we will dive deeper into how gratitude transforms your mind, your emotions, and even your physical health. You'll discover practical tools, real stories, and simple rituals that you can incorporate into your daily life. starting today. But before we move forward, take a moment now, just a few seconds, and ask yourself, what is one thing right now that I'm deeply grateful for? It could be small. It could be silent. It doesn't need to impress anyone. Let it be real that that's where gratitude begins, not in grand gestures, but in quiet recognition. And from that simple moment, a new life can begin to grow. Let's continue. Chapter 2, Gratitude and Mental Health. There's something quietly powerful about a grateful heart. It doesn't just change how we see the world, it also transforms how we feel within ourselves. When life feels heavy, when the mind is clouded with worry, stress, or sadness, gratitude becomes more than just a good idea. It becomes a lifeline, a bridge between despair and hope, between struggle and strength. In this chapter, we will explore the profound relationship between gratitude and mental health. You will discover how practicing gratitude can ease anxiety, reduce depression, improve emotional balance, and restore a sense of inner peace. Even in the midst of life's challenges, let's begin by addressing a common truth. Life is not easy. It never has been, and it never will be. Each person faces a unique set of struggles, some visible, others hidden beneath the surface. And yet, many people who have faced immense pain and adversity still find a way to rise. Often, that strength begins with a single shift in focus, choosing gratitude over despair. The emotional burden of modern life. In today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, mental health challenges are more prevalent than ever. Stress, anxiety, burnout, and depression have become alarmingly common. The pressure to be constantly productive, to meet unrealistic expectations, to compare ourselves endlessly to others, all of it weighs on the mind. We live in a culture that often rewards busyness over balance, perfection over presence, and consumption over contentment. It's no wonder that so many people feel overwhelmed and emotionally exhausted. But in the middle of this chaos, gratitude stands out as a grounding force. It slows us down. It quiets the noise. It reminds us that, despite everything we may be facing, there are still reasons to keep going, still reasons to smile, still reasons to hope. Gratitude and anxiety. Anxiety is often rooted in fear, fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of loss. It pulls the mind into the future, imagining worst-case scenarios, often before anything has actually gone wrong. It thrives on uncertainty and doubt. Gratitude, on the other hand, brings us back to the present. It shifts our focus from what could go wrong to what is already right. It quiets the fear-based narrative and replaces it with a more compassionate, balanced perspective. When you practice gratitude, you train your brain to recognize safety, support, and abundance in your environment. This calms the nervous system, reduces cortisol levels, and promotes a feeling of emotional security. In other words, gratitude helps your mind breathe again. For example, in moments of anxiety, simply pausing and acknowledging 3 things you're grateful for, no matter how small, can create an immediate shift in your emotional state. It's not magic. It's neuroscience. Gratitude and depression. Depression is often described as a loss of interest, energy, or hope. It casts a shadow over the mind, making it hard to feel joy, purpose, or connection. One of the most painful aspects of depression is the belief that nothing will ever get better. Gratitude does not cure depression, but it can play a significant role in the healing process. Research shows that regular gratitude practice can improve mood, boost optimism, and increase feelings of life satisfaction. Why? Because it helps redirect the brain's attention away from negative thought patterns and toward what is good, meaningful, or supportive in one's life. When someone who is struggling begins to practice gratitude, even in the smallest ways, it introduces light into the darkness. It interrupts the cycle of hopelessness and creates room for positive emotions to grow. In therapeutic settings, gratitude journaling is often used as a tool to support mental health. Patients are encouraged to write down a few things each day that they are thankful for. Over time, this simple act begins to reshape their outlook, rebuild their confidence, and reconnect them to a sense of purpose. Gratitude and emotional resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to recover from setbacks with strength and perspective. And gratitude is one of the key ingredients of resilience. Grateful people tend to be more emotionally stable. They're not immune to pain, but they respond to it differently. Instead of getting trapped in the question, why is this happening? To me, they are more likely to ask, what can I learn from this? Or what am I still thankful for, even now? This shift doesn't eliminate pain, but it gives it context. It helps people see that even in suffering, there can be growth. Even in disappointment, there can be meaning. Gratitude allows us to honor our pain without letting it define us. In fact, some of the most resilient people in the world, those who have faced illness, loss, trauma, or extreme hardship, often credit gratitude as the mindset that saved them. They don't practice gratitude because life is easy. They practice it because life is hard. Gratitude and the mind-body connection, our thoughts and emotions directly affect our physical well-being. Chronic stress, for example, weakens the immune system, disrupts sleep, and increases inflammation. On the other hand, positive emotional states, like gratitude, support physical health. Gratitude has been linked to lower blood pressure, reduced stress hormones, improved sleep quality, and even a stronger immune response. These aren't just pleasant side effects. They are profound demonstrations of how gratitude heals the body by healing the mind. When we feel grateful, the brain releases dopamine and serotonin. These chemicals not only elevate mood, but also enhance motivation, learning, and memory. The more frequently we feel grateful, the more our brain begins to associate life with safety, satisfaction, and joy. This creates a powerful feedback loop. Gratitude improves mood, which improves health, which makes us more likely to feel grateful again. Gratitude in therapy and recovery. Many mental health professionals are now incorporating gratitude-based interventions into therapy and recovery programs. Why? Because they work. They provide a simple yet powerful way for individuals to shift focus, regain control, and reconnect with life's meaning. In programs for addiction recovery, for example, gratitude is used as a way to combat shame, rebuild self-worth, and develop a future-focused mindset. In grief counseling, gratitude helps clients honor the good in their memories without being consumed by loss. In trauma therapy, gratitude becomes a grounding force, a reminder that safety, trust, and joy can return. That it's not a replacement for professional care, but it's a vital companion to it. A practice of compassion. Let's be clear, gratitude is not always easy. When you're going through something painful, the last thing you want to hear is, just be grateful. That phrase, when used carelessly, can feel dismissive or even hurtful. But true gratitude is never about ignoring your pain. It's about holding space for both your pain and your strength. It's a practice of compassion toward yourself and toward life. It says, yes, this is hard. And yes, there is still something here worth noticing. You don't need to force gratitude. You just need to invite it. Start small. Notice the warmth of your tea, the sound of music, the kindness of a friend, the fact that you're still here. Gratitude doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. But if you listen closely, it will guide you home. Moving forward as we continue this journey, remember, your mental health is precious. And gratitude is one of the most powerful, gentle, and accessible tools to care for it. In the next chapter, we'll explore the science behind how gratitude actually rewires your brain. We'll look at the role of neuroplasticity and how your thoughts shape your reality. Starting with what you choose to focus on. You are not stuck. You are not broken. And you are never beyond the reach of gratitude. Let's keep going. Chapter 3: The Neuroscience of Gratitude. Gratitude feels good. We all know that. But what many people don't realize is that this warm, positive emotion also causes very real, measurable changes in the brain. In fact, practicing gratitude regularly can rewire your neural pathways, influence your mood, and even change how your body responds to stress. In this chapter, we will explore the fascinating science behind gratitude. You'll discover how your brain is shaped by the thoughts you think, how gratitude impacts brain chemistry, and why consistent practice leads to lasting emotional and physiological benefits. This is not just about mindset. It's about biology. Let's begin by understanding one key concept: neuroplasticity. The brain is always changing. For many years, scientists believed that the brain stopped developing after a certain age. But we now know that's not true. Thanks to the discovery of neuroplasticity, we understand that the brain is always changing. adapting and reshaping itself based on how we think, feel, and act. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. Every thought you think and every emotion you feel strengthens certain pathways in your brain. The more often you have a specific thought or feeling, the stronger that neural pathway becomes. Just like exercising a muscle, that if you constantly worry, the neural circuits responsible for anxiety grow stronger. If you frequently dwell on what's missing in your life, your brain becomes wired to focus on scarcity. But here's the good news. If you regularly focus on gratitude, appreciation, and abundance, your brain begins to favor those patterns instead. You are not stuck with the way your brain currently functions. With awareness and consistent effort, you can retrain it. Gratitude and the brain's reward system. Gratitude activates the brain's reward circuitry, the same system that lights up when we experience pleasure, receive a compliment, or achieve a goal. Specifically, gratitude stimulates the hypothalamus and triggers the release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with motivation, pleasure, and reward. When you feel grateful, your brain releases dopamine. That's why gratitude feels good. Literally gives your brain a chemical reward. But more importantly, the more often you practice gratitude, the more your brain begins to expect and seek out those positive experiences. In other words, gratitude becomes self-reinforcing. It also enhances serotonin levels. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that regulates mood, sleep, digestion, and social behavior. Low serotonin levels are often linked to depression and anxiety. But gratitude, especially when practiced consistently, helps boost serotonin naturally. This is one of the reasons why people who maintain a gratitude practice tend to be happier, more emotionally stable, and less prone to stress. Gratitude and the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is the part of the brain responsible for decision-making, emotional regulation, and conscious thought. When you engage in grateful reflection, such as writing in a gratitude journal or mentally reviewing things you're thankful for, this part of your brain becomes more active. Why is that important? Because the prefrontal cortex also plays a critical role in suppressing negative emotions and strengthening self-control. A well-functioning prefrontal cortex helps you respond to life's challenges with more clarity, calmness, and resilience. And gratitude strengthens this area over time. In short, gratitude doesn't just make you feel better, it makes you think better. Rewiring the default mode network. There's a network in the brain known as the default mode network, DMN. It becomes active when you're not focused on the outside world, when your mind wanders, when you reflect on the past, or when you worry about the future. Unfortunately, the DMN can become overly active in people who ruminate, overthink, or struggle with negative self-talk. An overactive DMN is associated with anxiety, depression, and even chronic stress. Gratitude helps deactivate this network. It brings the mind into the present moment and encourages positive focus. When you intentionally direct your thoughts toward appreciation and joy, the DMN quiets down. The brain, in turn, becomes calmer and more present. This is why gratitude is often described as a form of mindfulness. It brings awareness back to the now, which is where peace and clarity reside. Gratitude and stress reduction. Stress is a biological response. When you're faced with a perceived threat, your brain triggers the release of stress hormones, primarily cortisol. This activates the fight-or-flight response. While helpful in emergencies, prolonged cortisol release can be harmful, leading to anxiety, insomnia, weakened immunity, and even chronic illness. Here's where gratitude comes in. Studies show that people who regularly practice gratitude have significantly lower levels of cortisol. When you feel grateful, your brain interprets your environment as safe and supportive rather than threatening or dangerous. This calms the nervous system and reduces the need for a stress response. Gratitude also increases activity in the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of the body responsible for rest, recovery, and digestion. This is sometimes called the rest and restore system. The result? Lower heart rate, deeper breathing, and a greater sense of physical relaxation. Simply put, gratitude makes your body feel safe. And when the body feels safe, the mind can rest. Gratitude builds new habits every time you express or reflect on gratitude. You are creating a new habit loop in the brain. These loops are formed through a process called Hebbian learning, often summarized as neurons that fire together, wire together. The more frequently you practice gratitude, the more automatic it becomes. Eventually, your brain begins to search for the good on its own. Instead of scanning for threats, disappointments, or irritations, your mind becomes tuned to appreciate moments of beauty, kindness, and abundance. This doesn't mean you become blind to reality or ignore your problems. It means you develop a healthier balance. You build the mental muscle to notice both the challenges and the blessings, and that balance leads to emotional strength and clarity. Gratitude as a long-term brain strategy. Here's the truly exciting part. Gratitude has long-term effects on brain structure. In one study conducted at Indiana University, participants who practiced gratitude over several weeks showed changes in brain activity that persisted even months later. Their brains were literally transformed by the habit of appreciation. This means that gratitude is not just a momentary feeling. It's a sustainable strategy for mental and emotional well-being. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. And the more natural it becomes, the more your brain, body, and life begin to reflect its benefits. A powerful reminder. So, here's what we now know. Gratitude is not just a nice idea or a spiritual suggestion. It's a biological tool, a practical way to retrain your brain, a form of mental hygiene that supports happiness, health, and long-term emotional stability. And the best part? It's free, it's simple, and it's always available to you, no matter your past, your circumstances, or your current emotional state. Each time you choose gratitude, you are literally changing your brain for the better. You are taking a step toward clarity, calmness, and joy. You are reminding yourself that abundance is not something you wait for. It's something you cultivate. This isn't theory. It's neuroscience. It's real, and it's within your reach. Moving forward in the next chapter, we'll move from theory into practice. You'll hear real-life stories of people who used gratitude to transform their lives, from moments of loss and hardship to experiences of growth and abundance. These stories will inspire you, ground you, and show you what's possible when gratitude becomes more than a practice. It becomes a way of life that you've already begun rewiring your brain. Now let's explore how gratitude looks in real life. Let's continue. Chapter 4: Gratitude in Action. Real stories. Understanding gratitude in theory is one thing. Living it, especially in the face of challenge, is something else entirely. In this chapter, we step out of the abstract and into the lives of real people. People who, despite loss, adversity, illness, or fear, made the conscious decision to practice gratitude and found themselves transformed. These stories are not about perfect lives. They're about powerful shifts. They show how ordinary people turned ordinary moments, and sometimes heartbreaking ones, into turning points simply by choosing to focus on what remained instead of what was missing. As you listen to these true accounts, let them remind you that gratitude isn't about having it all. It's about seeing what you already have more clearly. Even in the darkest of times, the smallest spark of appreciation can light the way forward. Let's begin with the story of Anna. Point 1. Anna's story. From grief to growth. Anna was a mother of two, married for 16 years, when her world changed overnight. Her husband, a healthy, energetic man in his early 40s, died suddenly of a heart attack. The loss was devastating. The days that followed were a blur of tears, unanswered questions, and sleepless nights. She found herself alone with two children, overwhelmed by grief and fear. For months, Anna felt stuck in a fog of sorrow. Then, one morning, while sitting at the kitchen table staring into her coffee, something inside her shifted. She looked across the room at her children, still sleeping peacefully, and thought, "They're still here. I'm still here. And they need me to show up, not just survive." That day, Anna began a simple ritual. Each morning, before checking her phone or starting her day, she wrote down 3 things she was grateful for. Some days it was just hot coffee. Other days, the sound of her children laughing. Over time, her focus began to shift. She didn't forget her pain, but she stopped letting it define every moment. A year later, Anna says this one habit saved her life. It didn't take away the grief, but it gave her the strength to carry it. Gratitude didn't erase her loss, but it revealed what still remained: love, memory, purpose. Point 2. James' story. A prisoner's perspective. James had been in prison for over a decade when he first heard the word gratitude used in a rehabilitation workshop. At first, he laughed at the idea. What did he have to be thankful for? Locked away, far from his family, surrounded by violence and regret, gratitude felt like a luxury he didn't deserve. But something about the concept stayed with him. That night, back in his cell, he decided to try it. He sat on his bunk, took out a piece of paper, and wrote down one thing he was grateful for. I'm still alive. The next day, he wrote another. I can read. Soon, it became a routine. Every evening, he ended his day with 5 simple things he appreciated, however small. Access to books, a friendly conversation, a letter from his sister. Over the next few months, something began to change inside him. He became calmer, less reactive, more reflective. His cellmates noticed. Even the guards noticed. Years later, James was released on parole. In his first speech to a group of at-risk youth, he said, "Gratitude didn't just help me survive prison. It freed my mind while I was still inside." Point 3. Leah's story. Gratitude through illness. At just 29 years old, Leah was diagnosed with a rare autoimmune disorder. Once active and athletic, she found herself bedridden for days at a time, her body no longer cooperating with her spirit. For a while, all she could see was what had been taken from her: her energy, her independence, her sense of control. Then, during a therapy session, her counselor posed a question. What if you looked for one thing each day that your illness hasn't taken away? It started small. I can still laugh. I can still listen to music. I can still love my family. Slowly, those small acknowledgments became lifelines. She began documenting them in a video journal, sharing her journey online. Her honest and uplifting reflections gained a following, and her perspective began to inspire others who were facing similar battles. Leah now says that her illness didn't make her grateful, but it gave her the chance to discover what truly matters. Gratitude gave me my life back, she says. Not the life I planned, but the life I didn't know I needed. Point 4. Dev's story. Finding joy in simplicity. Dev was a high-performing executive, living in a major city. To the outside world, he had everything: wealth, success, influence. But inside, he felt empty. His days were consumed by stress, and his nights by restlessness. Something was missing, but he couldn't name it. During a wellness retreat, a mindfulness coach introduced the group to a gratitude walk. The task was simple: take a 20-minute walk in silence and mentally list everything you appreciate. Dev rolled his eyes but participated. Trees, fresh air, the quiet, the feeling of his feet against the ground, the sun on his skin. Something shifted in him that day. It was the first time in years he had noticed life happening around him. He began practicing this walk every morning before work. Over time, the noise in his mind began to quiet. He started making changes, not dramatic ones, but meaningful. Less work, more presence. Fewer distractions, more connection. His definition of abundance changed. Dev now says, gratitude didn't give me more. It helped me realize I already had enough. Point 5. Maya's story. A young mind transformed. Maya was just 12 when her teacher introduced the class to a gratitude journal project. Every student had to write 3 things they were grateful for each day. Maya wasn't sure what to write at first. She had been struggling with anxiety, often feeling overwhelmed by school and friendships. At first, her entries were simple: my dog, my mom's cooking, my favorite book. But as the weeks passed, her reflections deepened. The way my friend smiled at me today, my teacher listening to me, a quiet moment alone after a busy day. Her parents and teachers noticed a difference. She seemed calmer, more focused, more confident. And Maya herself admitted that writing down her gratitude helped her feel less alone. Gratitude, for her, became a tool of self-awareness, a habit she has continued to this day. It helps me see the good things, she says, even when my mind tries to focus on the bad. The common thread: these stories span generations, backgrounds, and circumstances, but each one holds the same quiet truth. Gratitude is not a result of perfection. It's a practice of perspective. None of these individuals were handed easy lives. They faced real pain, real fear, and real uncertainty. But through the power of gratitude, they each discovered a new way of seeing the world, a way that brought peace, strength, and purpose. Gratitude in action is not about waiting for everything to be okay. It's about finding what's still okay and letting that be enough to build from. And here's the most powerful part. If they can do it, so can you. No matter where you are in life, no matter what you're facing, there is always something, however small, to be thankful for. That small thing can be the seed that grows a new mindset, a new life. Moving forward, now that you've seen how gratitude can transform real lives, let's take a closer look at how to create your own transformation. In the next chapter, we'll dive deep into the abundance mindset, what it really means, how it differs from scarcity thinking, and how gratitude is the gateway to attracting more of what truly matters. Real change is possible, and it begins with what you choose to focus on. Let's keep going. Chapter 5. The abundance mindset, shifting from scarcity to possibility. Imagine a world where opportunities are limitless, where success is not a pie to be divided but a field to be cultivated. This world isn't a fantasy, it's a mindset. The abundance mindset is the mental lens through which we view life's possibilities as plentiful rather than limited. It's the opposite of scarcity thinking, which convinces us that there's never enough, whether it's money, love, happiness, or success. In this chapter, we will explore how gratitude fuels the abundance mindset, how this mindset transforms lives, and how you can adopt it to rewire your brain for lasting fulfillment. The scarcity trap. Let's begin by understanding the opposite of abundance, scarcity. A scarcity mindset is rooted in fear. It whispers thoughts like, if they succeed, I can't. There's never enough money. I'm running out of time. I need to hold tightly to what I have. This way of thinking can subtly infiltrate our beliefs, behaviors, and even relationships. It leads to stress, comparison, jealousy, and competition, turning life into a zero-sum game. Scarcity is not always about lacking physical resources. It's often a perception. Two people can have the same income, yet one feels secure and generous, while the other feels anxious and restricted. Why? Because of mindset. What is an abundance mindset? Coined by Stephen Covey, the abundance mindset is the belief that there is more than enough for everyone. More opportunities, more love, more success, more peace. People with an abundance mindset celebrate others' success rather than feel threatened by it. Take risks because they don't fear failure as permanent. Give freely, knowing generosity doesn't deplete but multiplies. See solutions, not just problems. Attract opportunities simply because their attitude invites collaboration, trust, and creativity. This isn't just positive thinking. It's a shift in how we view reality. And gratitude is the cornerstone of that shift, how gratitude cultivates. Abundance gratitude shifts our focus from what's lacking to what's present. When you regularly practice gratitude, your brain becomes wired to see possibilities rather than limitations. Here's how gratitude plants the seeds of abundance. 1. Gratitude stops the comparison game. Comparison is a scarcity habit. It makes us measure our worth by someone else's highlight reel. Gratitude brings our focus inward. It reminds us of our blessings, strengths, and progress. It quiets the noise of envy and redirects our energy to our own journey. Point 2. Gratitude builds confidence. When we're thankful for our efforts and achievements, big or small, we begin to see our own capabilities. This sense of self-worth is foundational to abundance. You're not waiting for someone else to validate you. You recognize your own growth. Point 3. Gratitude opens doors. Grateful people are generous people, and generous people create opportunities for themselves and others. Whether it's in relationships, business, or personal development, gratitude invites connection. People are drawn to those who radiate appreciation. Rewiring the brain for abundance. Your brain is not fixed, it's adaptable. With consistent practice, you can train it to seek abundance rather than scarcity. Here's how. Daily gratitude reflections. Spend a few minutes each morning or evening listing 3 things you're grateful for. Over time, this simple act conditions your brain to default to appreciation. Visualize possibilities instead of worrying about what could go wrong. Take moments to imagine what could go right. Visualization is a powerful tool to prime your brain toward hope and optimism. Reframe scarcity thoughts. Whenever you catch yourself thinking, I don't have enough, pause and reframe. Ask, what do I already have that I've overlooked? Often, the answer is plenty. Celebrate others when someone around you achieves something. celebrate them out loud. This rewires the fear of competition into a habit of support, dissolving jealousy and reinforcing connection. Stories of abundance in action. Let's take a look at how the abundance mindset plays out in real life. Jasmine, the entrepreneur Jasmine, built a small handmade jewelry business. At first, she feared competition. She hesitated to share ideas or collaborate. But when she started practicing gratitude, journaling daily, sending thank you notes to customers, and cheering on fellow creators, something shifted. Her audience grew. Other artisans recommended her. She was no longer fighting for space. She was expanding it for herself and others. Leo, the teacher Leo struggled with burnout and scarcity thinking, believing he didn't have enough time, energy, or recognition. After starting a daily gratitude practice with his students, his mindset shifted. He focused on the joy of teaching moments, not the stresses. Soon, he became a mentor to new teachers and was offered a leadership role. Abundance followed appreciation. Living the abundant life. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing to recognize what's good, even in the face of struggle. It's a commitment to possibility, a refusal to let fear or lack define our reality. To live abundantly is to live courageously, generously, and gratefully. You don't need to wait for success to feel grateful. You can feel grateful now, and in doing so, you invite success. That's the real secret. Gratitude is not just a response to abundance. It is the path to abundance. Final thoughts in this chapter. We've explored how gratitude is the gateway to developing an abundance mindset. We've seen how it changes our perceptions, our relationships, and even our destiny. In the chapters ahead, we'll dive deeper into practices and tools that help you turn this mindset into a daily reality, so that abundance isn't just a belief you hold, but a life you live. Because when your mind is aligned with abundance, your world begins to overflow with it. Chapter 6. Simple daily gratitude practices. Making gratitude a way of life. Gratitude is not just an occasional reflection. It is a daily discipline, a conscious choice, and ultimately, a transformational habit. The most powerful changes in our brains and our lives come from consistent, small actions. In this chapter, we'll dive into simple, practical ways you can weave gratitude into your everyday life, effortlessly, mindfully, and meaningfully. Point 1. The morning gratitude reset. Every day begins with a choice. Will you start with intention or react to the chaos? Begin your day with a morning gratitude reset, a quiet moment to center your thoughts on what is good in your life. Before checking your phone, take 2 to 5 minutes to ask, what am I thankful for this morning? What am I looking forward to today? Who in my life do I appreciate right now? You can say these silently, write them in a journal, or even speak them aloud. The key is consistency. This morning habit trains your brain to search for positives before problems. Point 2. The gratitude journal. The most studied and effective practice is the gratitude journal. Here's how it works. At the end of each day, write down 3 to 5 things you're grateful for. Be specific. Instead of, I'm thankful for my family, try, I'm thankful for the way my sister made me laugh during dinner. Reflect briefly on why you're grateful for each one. This adds emotional depth and helps the memory stick. Within weeks, people who journal gratitude regularly report higher happiness, better sleep, and stronger relationships. The science backs it, and your experience will. 2.3. The one line thank you habit. This is a simple daily challenge. Every day, thank one person intentionally, in person, over text, by email, or even in a handwritten note. It could be thanking a friend for being there, thanking a coworker for their support, thanking a delivery driver for their service. It doesn't have to be profound. A sincere, brief, thank you for what you do, I appreciate you, can change someone's entire day, and yours. Point 4. The gratitude walk. Walking is a powerful time for reflection. Use a few minutes of your daily walk to practice active appreciation. As you walk, look around with fresh eyes. Notice what's working, your breath, your body, the trees, the weather. Say silently to yourself, I am grateful for this moment. This simple shift can turn an ordinary walk into a grounding, uplifting ritual. Point 5. The 10-second pause. Modern life moves fast. We often rush from one task to the next, but gratitude lives in the pause. Build micro moments of thankfulness by using the 10-second rule. Before a meal, Pause and think. I'm thankful for this food and all the hands that made it possible. After completing a task, pause and say, I'm grateful I had the ability to do that. Before sleep, pause and reflect. What am I thankful for from today? 10 seconds. That's all it takes to bring your mind back to gratitude. And over time, it reprograms your entire outlook. Point 6. Gratitude triggers. Anchoring your day. Attach gratitude to something you already do. These are your gratitude triggers. Examples. Every time you pour a cup of coffee, think of one thing you're grateful for. When brushing your teeth, think of one person you're thankful to know. When sitting in traffic, turn irritation into appreciation for having transportation. By anchoring gratitude to daily routines, you make it automatic, like breathing positivity into your schedule. Point 7. Evening reflections and affirmations as your day ends. Use this time to transition from doing to being. Take a few moments before sleep to reflect. What moments made me smile today? Who or what touched my heart? What did I learn or overcome? End with a simple affirmation like, I am grateful for today. I am growing. I am enough. This final thought enters your subconscious and prepares your mind for restful, positive sleep. Point 8. Gratitude jar. A family or solo practice. Create a gratitude jar. Every day or every week, write down something you're thankful for on a small piece of paper and drop it into the jar. Over time, this jar becomes a visual representation of abundance, a tool to revisit during tough days, a bonding activity for families or couples. Reading these notes weeks or months later can be deeply heartwarming and eye-opening. Point 9. Mindful moments of awe. Sometimes gratitude is sparked not by routine, but by awe. Those small, breathtaking experiences that remind us of life's beauty. Train yourself to notice them. A sunset, the sound of laughter, a bird flying, a child's curiosity. When you notice something beautiful or profound, pause and breathe in the feeling. Let yourself be moved. These moments recalibrate your heart. Point 10. When gratitude feels hard, there will be days when gratitude feels far away. That's normal. On these days, acknowledge your struggle without judgment. Look for the tiniest good, a warm bed, a hot drink, the ability to breathe. Right? Today is hard, but I'm still thankful for. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring pain. It means choosing to see what still remains, even in the storm. Final thoughts for daily practice. Gratitude isn't just a reaction. It's a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it grows. These daily practices don't require huge time or effort. What they require is intention. By integrating small, sincere acts of gratitude into your routine, you begin to shift your mindset from lack to abundance, from stress to peace, from disconnection to meaning. You don't need to wait for a better day to be grateful. Gratitude creates better days. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to overcome resistance and build the long-term habit of gratitude, even in a world that often focuses on what's missing. Chapter 7. The words you speak. Words are not just tools of communication. They are vessels of power. What we say shapes what we believe, how we feel, and how we experience the world. In the realm of gratitude and abundance, your words serve as daily affirmations, guiding your thoughts and wiring your brain for either scarcity or possibility. When we speak words of gratitude, we aren't merely expressing politeness. We're declaring what we value, what we recognize, and what we choose to focus on. This choice matters more than most people realize. The language of abundance versus the language of lack. Listen closely to the way people speak. You'll notice two primary styles of inner and outer dialogue, one steeped in lack and the other rooted in abundance. Words of lack sound like, I never get a break. I can't afford that. People don't care. Nothing good ever happens to me. These statements are subtle affirmations of scarcity. The more they're spoken, the more deeply they get embedded in our belief systems. Our minds, designed to seek consistency between thought and reality, begin to filter the world to confirm these statements. Over time, our external world becomes a reflection of our internal dialogue. On the other hand, the language of abundance might sound like, I'm thankful for the progress I'm making. There are opportunities all around me. I trust that things are working out. Even small wins matter. These words aren't just feel-good phrases. They send a clear signal to your brain to focus on what's working, what's available, and what's possible. Gratitude, when woven into our vocabulary, becomes a form of affirmation that rewires our brain to see the world differently. The power of self-talk. Think about how you speak to yourself. If you made a mistake today, what did you say? Did you call yourself names? Or did you say, "I'll learn from this"? The words you whisper internally often have the strongest impact. Negative self-talk can become habitual. "I always mess up. I'm not good enough. Why would anyone want to listen to me?" These phrases create a lens of shame, guilt, and fear. But when you practice grateful self-talk, you reframe the story. "I'm grateful for the lesson this mistake taught me. I appreciate how far I've come. I may not be perfect, but I'm evolving." Gratitude doesn't ignore pain. It reinterprets it. How words shape reality. There's a reason ancient traditions, spiritual practices, and even modern psychology emphasize the power of spoken word. Words can bless or break. They can lift or limit. What you say, repeatedly, becomes a blueprint for how you experience your reality. Think of your words as seeds. Each one you speak plants a vision in your subconscious mind. The more you speak with appreciation and purpose, the more your mind begins to shape your experiences around those visions. People who regularly speak in grateful, empowering language tend to experience lower stress levels, build stronger relationships, enjoy better mental and physical health, attract opportunities and connections more easily. It's not magic. It's mindset anchored in speech, transforming your vocabulary. A gratitude-based language shift. Let's look at how simple shifts in your wording can create a powerful emotional impact. From scarcity to abundance. "I have to go to work. I get to go to work. I'm so busy and overwhelmed. I'm thankful for a full life. Why is this happening to me? What can I learn from this? I wish I had more. I'm grateful for what I already have. I can't do this. This is challenging, but I'll find a way." Start listening to your words. Better yet, write down some common phrases you say about yourself, your life, your job, your relationships. Are those words nourishing you or depleting you? Speaking gratitude into relationships. Words of appreciation are fuel for human connection. Saying thank you sincerely, consistently, and specifically can change the dynamics of any relationship. Try this. Thank your partner not just for big things, but for small daily acts. Appreciate a friend for their time and presence. Acknowledge your coworkers' efforts even if they don't expect it. Gratitude spoken aloud validates others. It builds trust, eases tension, and encourages reciprocity. You'll find that people are naturally drawn to those who express gratitude openly and freely. Speak what you want to grow. Finally, remember this principle. What you speak into the world, you invite into your life. If you want more peace, speak peace. If you want more joy, speak joy. If you want to live in abundance, speak gratitude. Don't wait for circumstances to change before changing your language. Let your language lead, and your life will follow. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to overcome challenges and negativity with gratitude, even when it's the last thing you feel like doing. Because real gratitude isn't just about saying thank you when things go right. It's about finding light when you're surrounded by shadows. Let's continue. Chapter 8. The spiritual side of gratitude. Gratitude is often thought of as a simple feeling, something nice to experience when things are going well. But gratitude is much more than a fleeting emotion. Across cultures, religions, and spiritual traditions throughout history, gratitude has been revered as a profound spiritual practice, a way to connect deeply with life, with others, and with something greater than ourselves. In this chapter, we will explore the spiritual dimensions of gratitude, how it transcends circumstances, fosters connection, and opens the door to inner peace and meaning. Gratitude as a universal spiritual principle regardless of belief system or background. Gratitude is a common thread that runs through the world's great spiritual teachings. Whether it's Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, Hinduism, or indigenous wisdom, gratitude is recognized as a path toward transcendence. This universality points to something fundamental. Gratitude is not just about the external things we receive or experience. It's about recognizing the sacredness of life itself, the gift of being alive, aware, and connected. Gratitude and presence at its core. Gratitude calls us into presence. When you are truly grateful, you are no longer lost in regrets about the past or anxieties about the future. Instead, You become fully aware of the present moment, the here and now. Spiritual traditions often teach that the present moment is the only true reality. Gratitude anchors us there. It is a practice of mindfulness and reverence, honoring what is instead of wishing for what could be. This simple shift opens the door to peace. It invites us to rest in the flow of life rather than resist it. Gratitude. As a form of prayer in many spiritual traditions, gratitude is considered a form of prayer or meditation. It is a direct conversation with the divine or the universe, expressing thanks not just for material blessings, but for the unseen guidance, strength, and love that sustain us. This practice does not require formal ritual or dogma. It can be as simple as a silent thank you before a meal, a moment of appreciation while watching a sunset, or a deep acknowledgement of life's mysteries during hardship. When practiced consistently, gratitude becomes a way to cultivate faith and trust. Trust in the process of life, trust in yourself, and trust in something beyond yourself. The transformative power of surrender. Spiritual gratitude involves surrender, the act of letting go of control and accepting life as it unfolds. This is not passive resignation, but an active choice to say, I am grateful, even when I don't understand. Surrender through gratitude helps to soften resistance, reduce suffering, and open the heart to compassion. It's a radical acceptance that allows healing and transformation to take root. Gratitude and connection to others spiritually. Gratitude deepens our sense of interconnectedness. It reminds us that we are not isolated beings, but part of a vast web of life. Every act of kindness, every breath, every moment of joy is woven together. When we express gratitude to others, we honor this connection. We acknowledge the gifts they bring to our lives and, in doing so, recognize the divine spark in them. This recognition fosters empathy, forgiveness, and love, the very qualities many spiritual traditions hold as sacred. Gratitude in the face of challenge. True spiritual gratitude shines brightest not in ease, but in adversity. It's easy to be thankful when life flows smoothly. The spiritual practice is to find gratitude even amid suffering. This doesn't mean ignoring pain or pretending hardship isn't real. Instead, it's about embracing the fullness of experience, seeing how challenges teach resilience, how loss reveals love, how darkness makes light more vivid. This kind of gratitude nurtures humility and grace. It helps us become more compassionate toward ourselves and others. Scientific support for spiritual gratitude. Modern science increasingly recognizes the health benefits of gratitude, including reduced stress and enhanced well-being. These effects mirror what spiritual traditions have known for centuries, that gratitude nurtures not only the soul, but the body and mind. Researchers have found that spiritual practices involving gratitude activate brain areas related to empathy, compassion, and social bonding. This aligns perfectly with the idea that gratitude opens us to connection and love. Cultivating spiritual gratitude in daily life. You don't need to belong to a religion or follow a formal spiritual practice to experience spiritual gratitude. Here are some ways to cultivate it. Meditative gratitude. Spend quiet time reflecting on the gifts of life beyond material things, such as breath, consciousness, relationships, or the natural world. Gratitude rituals. Create small personal rituals, like lighting a candle and expressing thanks or journaling about your spiritual blessings. Service and giving. Engage in acts of kindness or volunteer work as expressions of gratitude in action. Mindful awe. Notice moments of wonder, sunrises, music, art, and let gratitude fill you. Surrender practice. When overwhelmed, practice saying, I trust this process and I am grateful. Even without understanding. A final reflection. Gratitude, at its deepest level, is a doorway, a sacred invitation to experience life fully, to connect with ourselves and others, and to embrace the mystery and miracle of existence. It calls us to walk humbly, love generously, and live intentionally. In embracing gratitude spiritually, we are not just rewiring our brains or improving our mood. We are awakening to a profound truth, that life itself is a gift, and we are here to receive and share it with open hearts. In the next chapter, we'll explore how gratitude fuels resilience, helping you rise stronger from setbacks and navigate life's inevitable ups and downs. Chapter 9. When it's hard to be grateful, finding light in the darkest moments, gratitude feels natural when life is smooth, when blessings are obvious, and when joy flows freely. But what happens when life is hard? When grief, pain, fear, or uncertainty cloud our vision? When it feels nearly impossible to say thank you? How can gratitude still play a role? This chapter is dedicated to those challenging times. We will explore why gratitude can be difficult, how to gently approach it in dark moments, and how even the smallest flicker of thankfulness can become a beacon guiding you through the storm. Why? Gratitude feels impossible sometimes when you are overwhelmed by hardship. Your brain and body go into survival mode. Stress hormones flood your system, thoughts race, and your focus narrows to immediate pain or threat. In this state, gratitude can seem out of reach or even insensitive. You might think, how can I be grateful when I'm hurting? Nothing good is happening right now. Gratitude feels fake when I'm struggling. These feelings are valid. Gratitude is not about denying reality or forcing positivity. It's about choosing where to place your attention, even when it feels difficult. The role of acceptance before gratitude can grow in hardship. Acceptance must take root. Acceptance means acknowledging where you are, without judgment or resistance, that it's not about giving up or pretending everything is fine. It's about saying, this is my reality right now. This honest acceptance softens the struggle, creating space where gratitude can eventually emerge. Finding small seeds of gratitude in dark times. Gratitude often doesn't come in big, sweeping waves. Instead, it arrives in small, subtle moments. These tiny sparks, called microgratitudes, can be the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the sound of a loved one's voice, a deep breath in a moment of panic, a memory that brings a brief smile. Look for these small gifts. They are the seeds that nourish resilience. Gratitude as a practice of courage. Choosing gratitude in hardship is an act of courage, not naivety. It's a way to reclaim power when everything feels uncertain. This courage doesn't mean ignoring pain. It means saying, I feel pain, and I also choose to find something good, no matter how small. Over time, this practice shifts your brain's default from despair to hope. Practical steps when gratitude feels hard. Here are some gentle ways to invite gratitude during difficult times. Start with neutral. If thankful feels too much, begin by noticing neutral facts. I am breathing. I am here. Use a gratitude anchor. Hold on to a physical object that reminds you of something good, like a photo, a stone, or a piece of jewelry. Write one line. Each day, write one thing you notice that isn't negative. It could be as simple as the sky was blue today. Express gratitude to yourself. Thank yourself for getting through the day, for your strength, or for seeking help. Practice compassion. Pair gratitude with self-compassion. Acknowledge your struggles and be kind to yourself as you grow. Stories of gratitude through hardship. Consider Maya, who lost her job during a difficult economic downer. At first, she felt despair and fear. But when she began noting small things, like a kind message from a friend or a quiet morning coffee, her mindset slowly shifted. Gratitude didn't fix her situation immediately, but it gave her clarity and hope to take the next steps. Or James, who faced chronic illness. His gratitude started with being thankful for medical care and compassionate doctors. This acknowledgement became a foundation for deeper gratitude for his body's resilience and the love surrounding him. Avoiding the pitfall of toxic positivity. It's important to differentiate genuine gratitude from toxic positivity, the harmful insistence that one must always be happy or positive regardless of real pain. True gratitude honors the full spectrum of emotions. It allows space for sadness, anger, and grief, while gently inviting appreciation. It's about integration, not suppression. The long-term gift of gratitude in adversity. Those who cultivate gratitude through hardship often emerge stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. They learn that joy and sorrow can coexist, that growth often arises from struggle, and that gratitude is a resilient thread weaving through all of life's experiences. Final reflection. When gratitude feels hard, be gentle with yourself. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, but progress. Each small moment of appreciation is a step toward healing, peace, and a rewired brain that seeks light. Even in the darkest times. In the next chapter, we will explore gratitude and resilience. How? Gratitude builds mental toughness and equips you to thrive through life's challenges. Chapter 10. Living in a constant state of gratitude. Making gratitude your way of being. Gratitude is often described as a feeling, a thought, or a momentary practice. But what if it could become much more? What if gratitude could be your default way of living, your lens for seeing the world, your foundation for every decision, your source of joy regardless of circumstance? Living in a constant state of gratitude is not about ignoring difficulties or pretending life is perfect. Instead, it's about embracing a deep, ongoing awareness and appreciation for life's abundance. No matter what unfolds. In this chapter, we'll explore how to cultivate and sustain this powerful way of being, transforming gratitude from a practice into a lifestyle. What it means to live gratefully. To live in gratitude means to approach each day with an open heart and an attentive mind. It means recognizing the gifts, big and small, that fill your life, allowing appreciation to guide your thoughts, words, and actions, choosing to respond to challenges with a mindset of growth and thankfulness, cultivating joy in the present moment rather than waiting for conditions to be just right. Gratitude becomes a steady pulse, a rhythm that shapes your inner world and colors your experience. The shift from doing gratitude to being gratitude. Many people start gratitude as an activity, writing lists, counting blessings, or saying thank you. These are important, but living in constant gratitude goes beyond doing. It is about being. Being gratitude means it's part of your identity. It shapes how you view yourself, others, and the world. It's reflected in your thoughts. You naturally notice and focus on positives. Speech. Your words consistently uplift and encourage. Actions. You act with kindness, generosity, and presence. This shift happens gradually but intentionally through repeated practice and self-awareness. Daily habits to cultivate constant gratitude. To sustain gratitude as a way of life, consider integrating these habits into your routine. 1. Mindful awareness. Throughout the day, check in with yourself regularly. Pause and ask, what am I grateful for right now? Even small moments count. A cool breeze, a smile, a moment of calm. Point 2. Express appreciation to others frequently. Make it a habit to thank people openly and sincerely, whether it's for their help, presence, or simply who they are. Point 3. Reframe challenges. When difficulties arise, intentionally seek the lesson, the opportunity, or the hidden blessing. This trains your mind to see abundance even in adversity. Point 4. Surround yourself with gratitude reminders. Use visual cues, quotes, pictures, or objects that inspire thankfulness and prompt your practice. Point 5. Practice generosity. Giving your time, attention, or resources to others deepens your experience of gratitude and reinforces abundance. How gratitude changes your brain and your life. Living in constant gratitude is like tuning your brain to a higher frequency. Neuroscience shows that gratitude activates brain areas linked to positive emotions, social bonding, and well-being. Over time, this rewiring results in improved mood and reduced stress, stronger immune response, greater resilience, and emotional balance, deeper, more fulfilling relationships, increased motivation, and creativity. Gratitude becomes a foundation not just for happiness, but for thriving. Overcoming challenges. To constant gratitude. Living gratefully does not mean perfection. There will be days when negativity creeps in, when old habits or fears return. What matters is how you respond. Notice without judgment. Gently return your focus to what you appreciate. Use setbacks as opportunities to deepen your practice. Remember, constant gratitude is a journey, not a destination. Gratitude as a catalyst for a meaningful life. When gratitude saturates your life, it invites meaning and purpose. You begin to see connections between your experiences, values, and goals. Gratitude fuels a deeper sense of belonging to yourself, to others, and to the world. This connection inspires actions that align with your highest self and creates ripple effects of positivity around you. Living gratitude in community. Gratitude is amplified when shared. Engage with communities or groups that value appreciation and kindness. Celebrate collective successes and support each other through challenges. Together, living gratitude creates a culture of abundance and compassion. Final reflection. Living In a constant state of gratitude is a radical and beautiful choice. It transforms ordinary days into celebrations, struggles into lessons, and relationships into sources of joy. Why making gratitude your way of being, you unlock a life rich in peace, connection, and purpose. This is not a distant ideal. It is available to you right now. As we conclude this chapter and the book, remember, gratitude is not just a habit to practice. It is a way of living that rewires your brain, enriches your spirit, and reshapes your world. Carry this power with you, share it freely, and watch how your life unfolds in abundance. Chapter 11. Gratitude and Physical Health. How appreciation heals the body. When we think of gratitude, we often focus on its emotional or spiritual benefits. But gratitude is equally powerful in influencing our physical health. The mind and body are deeply connected, and cultivating a grateful mindset can lead to measurable improvements in how we feel physically, from better sleep to a stronger immune system. In this chapter, we will explore the fascinating science behind gratitude and health, how gratitude changes your body's biology, and practical ways to harness gratitude to boost your well-being. The mind-body connection. Gratitude's role. Your brain doesn't just interpret the world, it influences your entire body. When you experience gratitude, your brain releases feel-good chemicals such as dopamine and serotonin, which promote relaxation and happiness. These chemicals help reduce stress hormones like cortisol, which, when elevated for long periods, can harm your body. High cortisol levels are linked to inflammation, heart disease, and weakened immunity. By lowering stress through gratitude, your body can better repair and protect itself. Scientific evidence linking gratitude and health. Multiple studies confirm gratitude's physical benefits. Improved sleep. People who practice gratitude fall asleep faster and enjoy deeper, more restful sleep. Writing down things you're thankful for before bed quiets a busy mind and eases anxiety. Lower blood pressure. Regular gratitude practice can help reduce blood pressure by lowering stress and promoting relaxation. Enhanced immune function. Grateful individuals tend to have stronger immune responses, helping the body fight off infections and illnesses more effectively. Reduced pain perception. Studies show that grateful people report less chronic pain and have a higher pain tolerance. Gratitude and healthy habits. Gratitude also encourages healthier lifestyle choices. When you appreciate your body and life, you're more motivated to eat nourishing foods, exercise regularly, avoid harmful substances, prioritize rest and recovery. This positive feedback loop strengthens both mind and body, fostering resilience and longevity. Practical ways to use gratitude for physical health. Gratitude before sleep. Spend a few minutes reflecting on the positive moments of your day or things you appreciate about your body, like your breath, your heartbeat, or your ability to move. This primes your nervous system for rest and repair. Gratitude movement. Combine gratitude with physical activity. During walks, yoga, or stretching, focus your mind on appreciating your body's strength and flexibility. Thank your body. Make it a habit to silently thank your body for all it does: digestion, circulation, healing, and beyond. This cultivates respect and encourages mindful self-care. Grateful breathing. Practice deep breathing while thinking of something you're grateful for. This calms your nervous system and increases oxygen flow, benefiting your whole body. Overcoming challenges to gratitude and health. Sometimes illness or pain can make gratitude feel difficult. It's important to acknowledge suffering without dismissing it. Even on tough days, try to find small aspects of your body or environment to appreciate. This gentle gratitude can soften distress and support healing. The holistic healing power of gratitude. Gratitude bridges the gap between mind and body, creating a holistic approach to health. It complements medical treatment, physical therapy, and lifestyle changes, enhancing their effectiveness. By integrating gratitude into your daily routine, you create fertile ground for vibrant health and well-being. Final thought: your body is your lifelong companion. When you honor it with gratitude, you not only heal but thrive. The power to transform your physical health is within you. Start by simply appreciating what your body does for you every day. Chapter 12. Cultivating gratitude in relationships. Building deeper connections through appreciation. Relationships, whether with family, friends, colleagues, or romantic partners, are the heart of a fulfilling life. Yet, they often come with challenges, misunderstandings, and moments of distance. Gratitude has the remarkable ability to transform these connections, fostering warmth, trust, and resilience that I end this chapter. We'll explore how cultivating gratitude within relationships deepens bonds, nurtures empathy, and creates a positive cycle of appreciation that benefits everyone involved. Why gratitude matters in relationships. At its core, gratitude acknowledges the value of others. When you express genuine thanks to those around you, you communicate respect and recognition. This validation meets fundamental human needs, feeling seen, heard, and appreciated. Scientific research shows that couples who regularly express gratitude enjoy greater satisfaction and longevity in their relationships. Friendships grounded in mutual appreciation tend to be more supportive and enduring. Simply put, gratitude builds emotional currency, and gratitude's role in conflict resolution. No relationship is without conflict, but gratitude changes how we navigate disagreements. When you focus on what you appreciate about someone, even when frustrated, you soften defensive tendencies and open channels for understanding. Instead of escalating arguments, gratitude invites empathy. It reminds us that beneath the conflict is a shared desire for connection and respect. Practical ways to cultivate gratitude in relationships. Express appreciation. Often make it a daily habit to tell someone what you appreciate about them. It can be something small, a kind word, a thoughtful action, or simply their presence in your life. Be specific. General thank yous are good, but specific gratitude feels more genuine. Instead of thanks for everything, say, thank you for helping me with dinner last night. It really made my evening easier. Listen with gratitude. Show appreciation by being fully present when others speak. Listening attentively communicates that you value their thoughts and feelings. Write notes or messages. A heartfelt letter, text, or email expressing thanks can strengthen bonds, especially when daily life feels busy or distant. Celebrate others' successes. Rejoice in the achievements and happiness of those you care about. Genuine celebration deepens connections and creates a culture of positivity. Gratitude as a healing force. In times of hurt or misunderstanding, gratitude can be a bridge to healing. Reflecting on positive memories or qualities can soften resentment and open space for forgiveness. Sharing what you're thankful for about someone, even after a conflict, reminds both parties of the foundation of the relationship. Modeling gratitude in families. Parents and caregivers have a unique opportunity to model gratitude for children. When gratitude is expressed openly at home, children learn emotional intelligence, kindness, and social connection. Simple family rituals, like sharing what each person is thankful for at dinner, can instill lifelong habits of appreciation. Gratitude beyond words. Actions rooted in gratitude can be even more powerful than spoken words. Small acts of kindness, thoughtful gestures, and consistent support demonstrate appreciation tangibly. When words and actions align, relationships flourish. The ripple effect of gratitude is contagious. When you express it genuinely, others are inspired to do the same. This ripple effect can transform entire social circles, workplaces, and communities, creating networks of care and connection. Final reflection. Gratitude is a choice that transforms how we relate to others. It invites us to see beyond imperfections and focus on what makes each relationship meaningful. By cultivating gratitude in your interactions, you build a foundation of love, respect, and joy, one that can weather challenges and grow stronger over time. Chapter 13. Gratitude at Work. Building positive professional environments. How appreciation transforms careers and company culture. Work is where many of us spend a large part of our lives. Yet, workplaces can often be stressful, competitive, and disconnected. Integrating gratitude into professional environments can change this dynamic profoundly, boosting morale, improving teamwork, and enhancing overall satisfaction. In this chapter, we'll explore how gratitude influences workplace culture, leadership, and personal career growth, as well as practical ways to cultivate appreciation in your professional life. Why gratitude matters at work. Gratitude shifts the focus from scarcity to abundance, seeing what works, who contributes, and what opportunities exist. When gratitude becomes part of the workplace, employees feel valued and motivated. This sense of appreciation leads to increased job satisfaction, higher engagement and productivity, reduced burnout, and turnover, stronger collaboration, and trust. Companies that prioritize gratitude often outperform their competitors and attract top talent. Gratitude and leadership. Leaders set the tone for organizational culture. Leaders who express gratitude openly create environments where people feel safe, respected, and inspired to excel. Grateful leaders recognize and celebrate employee contributions, regularly foster a culture of open communication and feedback. Model humility by acknowledging their own mistakes and growth. Encourage collaboration by valuing diverse perspectives. Such leadership cultivates loyalty and sparks innovation. Practical ways to practice gratitude at work. Regular recognition. Make it a habit to acknowledge colleagues' efforts publicly and privately. Simple words like, "Thank you for your hard work on this project," go a long way. Celebrate milestones. Recognize birthdays, work anniversaries, and achievements. These celebrations create a sense of belonging and community. Gratitude meetings. Start or end meetings with a brief round where team members share something they appreciate about the work, the team, or even the day. Thank you notes, handwritten or emailed notes of appreciation, can make a powerful impact. They show thoughtfulness beyond routine communication. Encourage peer appreciation. Create systems where employees can recognize each other's efforts, such as kudos boards or internal shout-outs. Gratitude's impact on career growth. Cultivating gratitude personally can also accelerate your own career. Grateful professionals tend to build stronger networks because people enjoy working with them, stay resilient during challenges and setbacks, approach problems with a positive, solution-oriented mindset, inspire others through optimism and appreciation. Gratitude enhances emotional intelligence, a key skill for leadership and success. Overcoming workplace challenges with gratitude. Work environments can be complex and sometimes difficult. Gratitude helps navigate these challenges by reducing stress and conflict through a focus on positives, improving communication by fostering empathy and understanding, enhancing adaptability by appreciating learning opportunities when faced with criticism or setbacks. Reflecting on what you're thankful for softens reactions and encourages growth. Creating a culture of gratitude. For gratitude to truly thrive, it must be woven into the fabric of the organization, not just practiced individually. This requires commitment from top management, regular training and awareness programs, policies that reward appreciation, and teamwork. Spaces and moments designed for recognition and celebration. Such cultures create workplaces where people feel valued and inspired every day. Final thought: gratitude at work is not just a nice-to-have, it's a strategic advantage. By fostering appreciation for colleagues, challenges, and the work itself, you transform not only your own experience but the entire organization. Gratitude creates workplaces where people thrive, innovate, and succeed together. Chapter 14. Teaching gratitude to children and teens. Nurturing appreciation for a lifetime. Gratitude is a skill and mindset that can and should be cultivated from an early age. Teaching children and teenagers to appreciate what they have, to recognize kindness, and to express thanks sets a foundation for emotional intelligence, resilience, and social connection throughout their lives. In this chapter, we explore the importance of gratitude for young people, strategies for nurturing it, and how caregivers, educators, and mentors can play a pivotal role in shaping grateful hearts. Why teach gratitude to the young? Children and teens are at a crucial stage of development, forming patterns of thinking, feeling, and relating that influence their future well-being. Gratitude helps build positive self-esteem, foster empathy and kindness, reduce entitlement and materialism, improve mood and reduce anxiety, enhance relationships with peers and adults. In short, gratitude is a cornerstone of healthy emotional growth. Start with modeling. Children learn primarily through observation. When parents and caregivers regularly express gratitude in words and actions, they teach by example. Saying thank you, acknowledging kindness, and sharing what you appreciate invites children to do the same. Modeling gratitude means also showing appreciation for the little things: a sunny day, a good meal, or a family moment. Age appropriate. Gratitude practices. Gratitude can be nurtured in ways suited to different developmental stages. For young children, 3 to 7 years, use simple language and concrete examples. Encourage them to say thank you regularly. Create rituals like sharing one thing they liked about the day at bedtime. For middle childhood, 8 to 12 years, introduce gratitude journals where kids draw or write about things they're thankful for. Engage in family gratitude discussions during meals or walks. For teens, 13 to 18 years, encourage deeper reflection on what gratitude means and how it impacts their lives. Support volunteering or helping others as ways to experience gratitude actively. Use prompts like, "Who has helped you recently?" or "What challenges have taught you something?" Creative activities to cultivate gratitude jar. Family members write notes of thanks or appreciation and place them in a jar. Read them together weekly. Thank you letters help children write letters to people who have made a difference in their lives. Gratitude art projects, drawing, collages, or scrapbooks focused on things they appreciate. Acts of kindness challenges. Encourage kids to perform small acts of kindness and reflect on how it made them and others feel. Overcoming challenges in teaching gratitude in a world often focused on instant gratification and material success. Teaching gratitude can feel challenging. Children might resist or misunderstand the practice. Be patient and persistent. Avoid forcing gratitude. Instead, foster curiosity and openness. Encourage questions and discussions about feelings and experiences. The role of schools and community schools and community programs can be powerful places to nurture gratitude. Incorporating gratitude exercises in classrooms, encouraging peer appreciation, and celebrating diversity and kindness all support a grateful mindset. Communities that emphasize service and cooperation teach young people that gratitude extends beyond the self. Gratitude's lifelong impact. When children and teens develop gratitude, they carry a powerful tool into adulthood. Grateful adults tend to be happier, healthier, and more socially connected. They are more resilient in the face of stress and more generous in their relationships. Final reflection: teaching gratitude to the young is one of the greatest gifts you can offer. It is an investment in their future happiness and in the health of the world they will help create. By nurturing gratitude early, we sow seeds that will grow into a forest of kindness, compassion, and joy. Chapter 15. Gratitude and Creativity. Unlocking your inner genius: how appreciation fuels innovation and artistic expression. Creativity, the ability to generate new ideas, solve problems, and express oneself, is a vital human trait. Yet, many struggle with creative blocks, self-doubt, and fear of failure. Gratitude offers a powerful antidote. By cultivating appreciation, you open your mind, reduce stress, and invite inspiration. In this chapter, we'll explore the intimate relationship between gratitude and creativity, revealing how a grateful mindset can unlock your inner genius and unleash your creative potential. How gratitude frees the creative mind. Creativity thrives in a state of openness and curiosity. When the mind is burdened by stress, criticism, or scarcity thinking, creativity often stalls. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing or wrong to what's abundant and right. This shift lowers anxiety and self-judgment, expands mental flexibility, and associative thinking encourages risk-taking and experimentation without fear, sparks joy and playfulness. Essential ingredients for creativity. By appreciating what is, you create fertile ground for ideas to flourish. The science behind gratitude and creativity. Neuroscience reveals that gratitude activates brain regions associated with reward and motivation. These areas overlap with those involved in creative thinking. Grateful individuals tend to have higher dopamine levels, enhancing mood and focus. Positive mood states increase the likelihood of aha moments, those flashes of insight that fuel innovation. Moreover, gratitude reduces the dominance of the brain's default mode network, a system linked with rumination and negative thought, allowing more space for creative flow. Overcoming creative blocks with gratitude. Creative blocks often stem from fear, perfectionism, or overwhelm. Gratitude helps by soothing stress responses, calming the nervous system, reframing mistakes as learning opportunities, encouraging acceptance of imperfection, reconnecting you with your original inspiration and passion. When you thank yourself for effort and progress, even if imperfect, you build momentum. Practical ways to integrate gratitude into your creative process. Gratitude journaling for creativity. Before starting a creative task, Write down 3 things you appreciate about your creative abilities, past successes, or the tools you have. This primes your mindset for openness. Mindful appreciation breaks take short pauses during your creative work to notice and appreciate small details, the colors, textures, sounds that inspire you. Celebrate small wins, acknowledge progress, no matter how minor. Every step forward is a victory worth appreciating. Express gratitude to collaborators and mentors. Recognize those who support or inspire your creative journey. Sharing appreciation strengthens your creative community. Create gratitude rituals. Incorporate rituals such as lighting a candle, playing favorite music, or meditating on gratitude before creative sessions. Stories of gratitude inspiring creativity. Many renowned artists, writers, and innovators credit gratitude as a key to their creative flow. For example, author Maya Angelou famously kept a gratitude journal, helping her focus on life's gifts despite challenges. Inventors and entrepreneurs often emphasize appreciating failures as stepping stones. Gratitude sparks innovation and problem-solving in professional and scientific fields. Gratitude fosters a mindset that welcomes diverse ideas and collaborative solutions. Appreciating different perspectives reduces defensiveness and opens dialogue, key to breakthrough innovations. Final reflection. Gratitude and creativity are deeply intertwined partners on the path to self-expression and innovation. By nurturing gratitude, you unlock your inner genius, opening doors to fresh ideas, bold experiments, and authentic artistic voice. When you approach your creative work with appreciation, you invite a flow of inspiration that transcends limits and transforms your vision into reality. Conclusion: embracing gratitude as your daily power. Gratitude is more than a fleeting feeling or a polite gesture. It is a profound force that can transform your mind, body, relationships, and life. Throughout this journey, we have uncovered how gratitude reshapes your brain, nurtures mental health, connects you spiritually, and rewires your mindset from scarcity to abundance. You have learned practical daily habits, explored the power of your words, and discovered how to find light, even in the darkest times. You have seen how gratitude is a courageous choice, a way to embrace life fully, with all its challenges and blessings. The power to rewire your brain lies within your consistent practice and willingness to shift your focus. When gratitude becomes your default, abundance naturally flows. Life's possibilities expand, resilience deepens, and peace becomes your foundation. Remember, gratitude is not about waiting for perfect circumstances. It is about appreciating what is here and now, and by doing so, creating a future rich with meaning, connection, and joy. Thank you for allowing gratitude to guide your path. Carry it with you daily, share it generously, and watch as your world transforms.